everyone, and welcome. I'm so happy you are joining me today because I have an amazing guest on. My guest today is Melinda McLaughlin, and she is the newest member of my team. I'm super excited to bring her on just to have that cohesive, awesome, kick-ass team to help people. And she is a functional diagnostic nutritionist in process. She's almost done. She's this close. And she has a ton of other degrees. She has been in this field because of her own health journeys and health struggles. Like we said in the title, 48 different doctors to find an answer. Because of her own health struggles, she has dove into this whole area of health and functional nutrition and mind-body connection. So I'm going to let her speak. So Melinda, thank you so much for your time today, jumping on. Can you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Sure. Well, I started on this journey because of my own health problems that kind of, as far as I knew, came out of nowhere. As I learned more, I learned that they came out from a long process. So, through that journey, I knew that there was some reason that I was going through it, and it wasn't just to heal myself. It was to help other people too, so they wouldn't have to go through 48 doctors like I did. So, that's how I ended up here. And so I got certified in mind, body, nutrition, and eating psychology, and a component of mine with the things that happened to me. And then I wanted to further coach and knew that nutrition was just a part of it. And so I became certified human potential coach so that I could address all aspects of a person, from, the spiritual aspects to the psychological, the success and growth development, as well as nutrition and biohacking.
And all of those components are so important. I mean, if you just fix the medical side, you just fix the body, but you're not fixing the mind, it just doesn't work because people have such limiting beliefs. So I'm fascinated that you went into all those areas and that you have that kind of experience and certification in all those areas. I mean, that really brings kind of a full package to the table for people that are needing help.
Well, I hope so. That was my goal. I'm a seeker, I'm a researcher, and I always want to know, well, what else can I use? What other tool can I add to help people? And the more, you can't just talk about food in a vacuum. And so many, diet programs, they just say, oh, you just need to change your food. Mm-hmm. And food is never the problem. It's never the problem. It's just a component of all the different things that go into it.
And, the pain to purpose story, I agree with you. We can't just focus on food. You cannot just change your diet and heal your body. It's a piece of the puzzle, but it's not the only piece. So anybody that tells you just eat this way and all will be well, they're lying to you. But yeah, totally. But yeah, I think it's the pain to purpose story for all of us. Anyone in this healing space, we all have our own backstory. Now, my story with you is we're in a mastermind group together, a business group together, and we met just to do homework. And you said to me, I saw 48 doctors. I'm like, excuse me? Was that a 4 followed by an 8? No, you just meant to say 8, right? Like, no. I saw 48 doctors. So we started sharing stories. We connected. I'm so excited to have you as a member of my team. So can you tell people, because I know they're out there, that have been from doctor to doctor, kind of just compress those 48 and tell us about that journey and what was the end answer? Like, how did you finally get all the answers to start on your own healing journey?
Well, it was lengthy. And, I started out just as most people do, with your GP, your general practitioner. And I went to that. Am I echoing?
No, you're not bad. Mm-mm.
Okay. And I went to them and, it was like, I'm gaining weight. I'm really tired, I just very, not really symptoms of anything, but symptoms of everything.
Yep.
So they, of course, didn't know. They said, bring me a food journal. You need to sleep more. No help. So I kind of changed things a little bit. I already ate really well. I exercised. I had a trainer, but nothing was working. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to try something else. So I simply just pushed forward. I would go to another specialist and say, okay, here's what I need. And here's can you help me? And they would run tests and say, well, you're normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And I'd say, okay, where else can I go? Like, what else will and sometimes they would give me an answer and sometimes they wouldn't. So a lot of times the next specialist I went to was based on my own research, like a question. And how can I find who can help me figure this out? And I finally came across a doctor that would run tests for me. And he was, he used to be a gynecologist. He now is kind of functional medicine and, close to retirement. And he was just very helpful. And he, along with the chiropractor in his practice, actually helped guide me a little bit and, helped me clean out a lot of heavy metals and, sent me to a holistic dentist. And there were just so many things and people I ran across, really, that including one gynecologist who said, you should just get pregnant. That will reset your hormones, and then that should do it. And I said, that'll definitely do it. But I said, are you going to raise that baby?
Classic. That's great.
He said, well, no. And I said, because I obviously am in no condition to do that. So your suggestion is really going to create more of a job for you. I said, that's completely irresponsible. I don't know why you're still in practice. And I walked out. So, yeah, that was my best one.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah. And would you even have a healthy baby or a healthy pregnancy? Like, he didn't even think that through. Like, how do you tell a sick woman to get pregnant and expect that baby to survive and thrive?
Yeah, I probably, I couldn't have even, carried a baby to full term, because my body was so out of whack. But for him to even suggest that, I was just like, are you kidding? Like, how godlike of you, truly, which is kind of what you run into after you see that many doctors. So.
Absolutely. And so many people are resonating with you right now. And of course, we see you like this. I met you like this, like beautiful and healthy and glowing, and you're all good. But you were sharing with me that, there are days where you couldn't get out of bed and you just were non-functioning.
Yes. And I would just kind of, my stomach always hurt. Food never agreed with me. I probably the thing that pushed me over the edge was that I gained 100 pounds in 3 months. So just about 30 pounds a month for 3 months in a row. And I was like, somebody has to help me.
You can't even gain that if you tried. Like, if you went on like an Oreo, cookie, pretzel, pizza binge, I couldn't even make myself gain that.
No, you could eat 24/7 and not gain that. Yet I was still asked for a food journal every time because they didn't believe that I didn't do that to myself, which doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't even make sense. And shame on them. They should know that the body doesn't lay down weight like that. That's not how it works. Let's go back to the medical textbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I don't even know what my first question or my next question is for you, but I guess the things, so many thoughts come up in my mind. First of all, with the weight. All right, let's start there, because I guarantee people are listening and going, I don't know what I would do. So what do you even, I mean, what eventually started turning the weight around and helping you lose?
Well, the first thing you do is you cry a lot in your closet. That's
Yeah.
the first thing.
Yeah.
Then you just keep searching because there has to be an answer. Like that's the only thing I knew to do. And so I eventually found a doctor who had a staff of specialists basically and could put pieces together. And I was in his office for an entire week, 5 days, for 8 hours a day, for him to figure everything out and start me on the healing journey. But to get to him took over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was when people say desperation, like I know desperation. I would have done anything he said, that made some sense because I'd heard a lot of things that didn't. So, so for him to kind of put pieces together and actually say, oh, wait, you're not crazy. Like, of course, that's how you feel because of this. And put these pieces together that started to make sense that no one else had ever put together.